Hi everyone, Haley here from The Foiled Plan. If you are already a foiled friend, thank you for joining me again today, and if you're new here, welcome. I share a lot of different content on my channel. Things like design videos, Cricut crafts, foiling, dollar store DIYs, epoxy tumblers, unboxings, and pretty much anything related to running a small creative business. So if that sort of content interests you, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button to become a foiled friend and turn the notification bell on so you never miss an uploaded video. Now that you know a little bit about my channel, let's jump into today's video. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to strip a tumbler. So if you are new to epoxy, or even if you've been doing it for a long time, sometimes your cup doesn't turn out exactly how you like, and honestly I've been doing it for a while now and it still doesn't always turn out perfect for me either. Epoxy is very temperamental, so this is an example of a cup that had quite a bit go wrong with it during the epoxy process. So I had already done one layer of epoxy and glitter and it was perfect. And then I needed to do another coat before I could add a decal just so everything was nice and smooth. So with this cup, there was a lot of bumps and spots where the epoxy separated. This one here is another example. It actually fell off the turner and then ended up with some spots. Now this one I can actually just sand down and then do another coat of epoxy and it will be fine. But the first one that I showed you, there's just so much going wrong with it that sometimes it gets to the point where you just have to cut your losses and start over. The massive lump that was on the bottom of the other one was just too big, and even though I tried to trim it down and sand it, it was just too big of a mess. This cup I actually did at the same time, and there was really no spots on that were too bad. Pretty fair condition for this cup, and I can easily apply a decal to that. So like I said, it's really temperamental and there can be a lot of things that go wrong in the process, and you just have to be patient. And even the people that have been doing epoxy for a long time still have issues with epoxy. So if you are new to it and you're running into problems, don't stress out and think that you're the only one. But anyways, let's jump into how to strip a cup. Alright, so to get started, make sure you have some gloves to protect your hands. Then you'll need a resealable plastic bag. Make sure it is resealable, and you can actually store this away and use it to strip cups in the future, so don't throw it away when you're done. You'll need aluminum foil, as well as an X-Acto knife or some sort of knife tool to do some scoring. Grab some paper towels and the magic ingredient, which is acetone. So if you're using nail polish remover, just make sure it says 100% acetone on the bottle, or you can actually buy a bottle that is just marketed as 100% acetone and not as nail polish remover, but it's the same thing. The last thing that's actually not pictured here is my respirator. Now, I'm wearing one just because the smell of acetone really bothers me, and I don't want to end up passing out even though I'm only using it for a short period of time. So you know your body, and just do what's best for you. Now that we've got all of our supplies, go ahead and put your gloves on. Again, just want to protect your skin. I also really like these gloves because they're a little bit longer. They go down my wrist so I can protect my watch at the same time. Alright, so I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife and very carefully start to add score lines all over the cup. Make sure you don't forget to do the bottom, and you work your way around the entire cup. Anywhere there is epoxy, make sure you get right in there. Again, like I said, be extremely careful. If you're not comfortable using an X-Acto knife, you can do this without, but it's going to take a lot longer. The score lines just help the acetone really get into the epoxy and eat away at it, which helps the process so much. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to take some paper towel. You just want enough that you'll be able to wrap the whole cup. So I'm just going to wrap it kind of like a sub. I've never worked at Subway or anything like that, but this is how I would imagine a foot long is wrapped. I don't know. And then just tuck it down inside. Just make sure the whole cup is fully covered. Then I'm going to take a piece of aluminum foil, and I have the shiny side facing up. And then I'm just going to slowly pour a little bit of the acetone all over the paper towel. You don't have to completely drench it. You're not like holding it under a tap of water. It's not that much that's coming out. The paper towel will kind of sop it up and it will like move all over the cup. So you don't need that much, just enough so that it's fully dampened. And then once that is done, you're going to again sub-roll your cup in the aluminum foil, making sure that it is nice and snug. And you're gonna fold the top down inside of it. If there is any spots that are still open, just grab another little piece like I did and go ahead and wrap it around the top, just like that. Now that that's done, you're gonna grab your resealable bag, slide your cup down inside the bag and roll out any excess air. Now, if you're doing more than one cup and you can fit them in the bag, that is completely fine. And then just set this aside and leave it. I let mine sit for about a day, so 24 hours, and you saw the amount of epoxy on that. So if you have more epoxy, maybe leave yours for a little bit longer, or if you have less, maybe you don't necessarily need to leave it as long, but patience is key for this part. Now, when I came back the next day, I made sure to put gloves back on, just again to protect my skin, and I was wearing my respirator just because those fumes I knew were going to be quite intense. Now, this next part gets a little bit messy, so I just kept the bag underneath where I was working, just so it was easier cleanup. Then I gently opened up the aluminum foil and I continued to leave that on my work surface. Again, easy cleanup. Once you start removing the paper towel, that's when you're going to see the real magic. It all just starts to crumble. See, all of that beautiful glittery epoxy has been eaten away by the acetone and it all just crumbles off. How satisfying is that? Oh my goodness. It was satisfying to open up, but now watching this back as I'm doing this voiceover, love it. It just sort of crumbles off, and it has eaten away at the paint as well. So when I redo this cup, I will have to do another coat of paint before I add my glitter again. But the cup itself is intact and there's no issues. Look at how easily that peels right off. Now there is some spots where there was quite a bit of epoxy and I could have probably left it on even longer, but no big deal. What I can do is just use my fingers to scratch away. I can use a sanding block or even my X-Acto knife if need be, but this is a super easy way to strip a cup and it doesn't require that many materials. It's not expensive to do and you can still use the cup afterwards. Now, this is a stainless steel cup. I have never tried to strip a plastic cup. I feel like it probably wouldn't work that well. I think the acetone would probably eat right through the plastic, but I can't say that for sure because, like I said, I've never tried it. But if you need to strip a cup, this is definitely a super easy way to do it. I hope you guys found this helpful. And if you have to strip a cup in the future, don't get discouraged. It happens to the best of us. And if you are super new to epoxy, be kind to yourself. Don't let yourself get too frustrated. I've been there. We've all been there. It happens. And you know what? It's a learning process every time you do it. I feel like I learn something new every time I do a cup. So if I can share the little things that I've learned along the way to help maybe you avoid some of the pickles that I've been in, then I will definitely share. If you guys have any questions, pop them in the comment section below. I will have links to all of my socials as well as my website. Lots of fun things happening over on my website. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. Bye.